side, so we'll see what can be done right now. 2 shots remain right now for Casme of Nova Scotia. This is Kaylee Casme. And Brooks, what position are you now when you curl? They did, of course, get inside the house, and they have just about the closest position to the button, not quite.
Not shot rock, but I mean, if Nova Scotia does hit this, there will be a bit of a wall.
You are watching the 2015 Atlantic Curling Under-18 Championships here from the Montague Curling Club. Brett Poirier alongside Brooks Roach for this one. We have 6 games that will be broadcasted live here on Bell Community 1, along with Sheet 3, which will have Martin Ohms doing the play-by-play. Also in that game, we see the similar battle, the boys Nova Scotia men's versus the Newfoundland men's. Of course, you've probably played with some of those guys. So this shot right now will send 3 stones out, 1 belonging to Newfoundland and 2 of Nova Scotia. Brooks, was that a good shot all in all?
Or second shot rock would be a probe. Bit of a bad break on catching your own back and rolling out as well. So instead of sitting as much as forward, they're now going to. Still not a terrible spot for Nova Scotia to be in with the hammer. It seems to be like the same shot here. Get one in. Tough for Nova Scotia. If it's aimed, it'll probably force Nova Scotia to one. Good after the way the end is looking.
Now we'll see this team from Labrador City come back. And like you said, not a whole lot, but of course you're going to go inside the house if you can. And we do see a blocker up in front, so maybe try to get somewhere just nestled in between that somehow.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, it's hard to shot rock tight in there, but if they can get it kind of so that if Nova Scotia tries to hit it, they can jam on it, that would be a great spot to go.
So the shot now just crosses the hog line. Heavy sweeping by Newfoundland. 3 sweepers right now on it. It will travel just inside, or just outside I should say. Doesn't quite make it. Is that what they wanted? So now here comes Clark of the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax. Brooks, have you ever had a chance to curl there?
I have not played the Mayflower. No, I've been to a few bonspiels over in the Halifax area, but not the Mayflower. I do know quite a few.
Absolutely. The best in Nova Scotia right here for the under-18 girls. Their final shot of the first. Now we see sweeping. This one just about to sail inside. And it looks like it will be a good shot here. And a pretty good first end. So now the automatic disadvantage goes to Newfoundland. Absolutely. All right, so back here in the second, score is 3-0 in favor of this Nova Scotia club. And now they give up the hammer to Newfoundland, but like you said, Brooks, they really need a few favors right now because Newfoundland not in the best of positions. But of course, as you see with just one end of curling, they can easily tie this game back, take a lead even. Newfoundland with the red stones and Nova Scotia with the yellow. That's exactly what they wanted to do. And now we've seen this a lot in the university level when we were here last time. A lot of teams, whenever they jump up to a big lead, we'll see them just almost playing a keep away style. They'll just really never let their opponent get back into it. This stone just, it will just hang inside of the house. Gets nearly out, but not enough that time. And now Newfoundland back. Of course, whenever you play that style, the hitting style, there's no room for error. You have to be consistent on every single shot. Right now it do we have any type of an angle for a double here, or is that just a little too tough? So we'll see what can be done right now by this Nova Scotia team. Up with her throw, we'll see Anna Bryant this time. Like you said, Brooks, decent weight right now. We're seeing some heavy sweeping. Just trying to get across the hog line. Easily does. Here is this redstone coming down for Newfoundland. Just trying to hit the yellow at the top. A little bit of a freeze here. Once again, exactly what they wanted. So, just as we saw in the first, the other team taking control. This time it is Newfoundland with a bit of control here in the second end. But, I mean, you get your double and then it completely changes everything. See if it can. It just misses that time. And that is not what they wanted that time. 4 more couldn't connect on the shot. And now what do we see Newfoundland do? There's a lot of opportunities. This one seems strong. And not what they wanted there. That will travel right out of play. Bit of a missed opportunity that time for Newfoundland. Now we'll see Nova Scotia up once again with their yellow stones. Here comes Logan. Emma Logan out of Halifax. Up once again, she'll send it hard. Looks like they're going right back for the double, Brooks. And once again, that one just off of the mark, not able to set the double, and almost creates a block situation, but not quite.
Miss the double. It'd be better to miss that way than to, miss on the narrow side. But Newfoundland is playing the same shot again, trying to split the rings, get another rock over on the other side, eliminate any double. If this is made again, it'll be tough for Nova Scotia to eliminate the damage.
This one definitely traveling with a lot less weight.
Yeah, for sure.
And Brooks, whenever we see a team make a mistake like throwing one too hard, do we often see teams kind of level, be a little extra cautious? This one seems a little strong once again. Oh my goodness, and there it is again, traveling out. And you can see the intent there was to try to make that much less substantial of a throw, but...
Yeah, and it was quite a bit less weight, but the first one was just far too heavy, so I think just didn't quite compensate enough. So definitely a bit of a changing of the tides there for Nova Scotia, with a bit of an opportunity here to hit and fly two.
And we could only imagine right now the situation this game would be if those last two stones would have stayed in play. Absolutely. It would probably change the entire complexion of this end. But now with only a few stones remaining for each side, Nova Scotia once again with that 3-0 lead in the early advantage here. And now you know where they're going with this one.
Yeah. And it looks pretty good coming in. Great shot there.
And now for Newfoundland, we will see Rebecca Golding up. They're going to go for the double, aren't they? Or do you think they're just going to go to the back? I mean, that is where...
With that ice, it would be the double. They could definitely play a draw in there, but again, they're a bit more of a hitting team from what we've seen so far this game, so they might as well play to their strengths if they're going to stick to that strategy.
And this one travels across the hog line. No sweeps have been laid.
Oh.
And once again, a shot
catching the top
just comes off once again. Another tough break now.
Yeah. So now Nova Scotia has the same opportunity that Newfoundland had a few shots ago. So they can split the rings and definitely at least force Newfoundland to one.
And now we will see Clara come up for Nova Scotia. She will have two shots without the hammer, but right now Nova Scotia in complete control of this game so far in the early goings.
Absolutely.
And looking at the other Nova Scotia-Newfoundland game, score is 0-0. So we'll keep you updated on that as well. Right now it is a 3-point game right here. And Nova Scotia has a chance to get a few more. They have 2 stones remaining here in the second.
Looks pretty good coming in.
This travels just inside of the house.
This looks to be, just even with the other one across the house. There's absolutely no double opportunity there. Newfoundland looks like they're electing to play the hit on that one on the wing that was just thrown.
Now, Brooks, let me ask you, are we seeing Newfoundland play a poor game, or is it Nova Scotia playing an excellent game so far?
I'd say so far Nova Scotia is definitely playing a very strong game in general. Newfoundland has a few calls that may be a little questionable, but it's more the execution that's bringing them down. Just a few key misses and a few key shots made for Nova Scotia.
All right, now the skip for a Newfoundland. Kaylee Casme has a lot of work to do. Like you said, the double is not an option. So what is her best look?
Well, by hitting this one, which is what she seems to be playing, she's just going to, again, try to cut down the damage by getting rid of as much yellow in the house as possible. And this one's looking not great. I don't think that's going to make
will not
contact.
connect either.
No. So Nova Scotia, again, looking to lie 3.
You tell her when she comes back.
So now this puts a lot of control into the hands of the team from Nova Scotia. Where do they want to put this stone? It looks like they're going to go to the far side of the house right now.
They're actually, I think, going to put this somewhere just on the center line because by doing so, if they put it even top 12 or so, they'll cut down on the path of the draw for Newfoundland to the button. And if they put it in a good enough spot, they'll leave it so that if they hit the rock that's thrown here, they won't be shot. So forcing them into a hit in this situation would definitely be an advantage, as we just saw the skip flash on her hit. So either way, it's going to be a good force here for Nova Scotia on Newfoundland.
All right, now this last Nova Scotia stone coming down. 3-0 is the score in favor of the Halifax team. They don't have hammer, but right now it sure feels like they do. Just crosses the hog line. Heavy sweeping. It will lay off right now, and it travels just where they want it to be.
Very good. It's a well played in by Nova Scotia for sure.
And of course, Brooks, there is a double opportunity, but the way things have been going, they probably won't do it.
No, and just to be safe in a case like that, like when you're facing 3 yellow, they're just gonna hit the open one on the nose. Again, hopefully they can execute on that one, because if you roll out, there might be a catcher on the side with the 2 yellows in behind, but it's a pretty risky shot to be throwing any big weight at. Again, the position of the rock makes the draw very hard too, so I'd say this is the right shot, especially if it's made. Looking wide off the bat.
And this one traveling very hard. Once again, it is going to not connect. A very tough end.
Yeah.
And now the score.
Not getting the results from their shots early on for Newfoundland and Labrador.
And now the score after 6-0. We'll be right back here on Bell Community. All right, back here in the third. Brooks, this game is not at all what we would call a barn burner.
Oh, no. It's Nova Scotia seems to be, I wouldn't say running away with it, but 6-0 is a pretty commanding lead. So I'd give them the upper hand for sure. And Newfoundland doesn't seem to be getting the execution. Again, as we said earlier, just not quite making those shots when you have to make them. Some hits flashed and draws put through the rings and whatnot, but again, Nova Scotia is making all their key shots as well, so that's a tough combo for Newfoundland.
Combination of great skill and just poor execution right now. We'll see if Newfoundland can bounce back. They have the Redstones this time. Here is Kelsey Fry. This is a very hard one. They're clearly going just to remove the yellow stone inside of the house.
That seems to already be gone.
And another missed opportunity, Brooks.
Just an error on release there. It was came out pretty well on target, but turned the handle when she let it go, so set it off on an angle. Instead of going right at the broom, it was set off to the side, and it just traveled more on that line.
Brooks, this is now the 5th shot we've seen that completely drew a blank, and is this common at this level?
It's not an everyday thing. I mean, there's definitely no team is without their misses, but to be consistently completely missing a hit it's rough to to do that at a tournament with this level of teams and to try to win while doing that.
And Brooks, of course, we should mention what took place earlier in the day. Of course, there was a busy schedule. We saw team practices, the maintenance, of course, of the ice, more team practices, opening ceremonies. Were you around for any of that?
I was, yeah. I got here around 9 a.m.
Long day for you.
Yeah, helping out with the team practices, and we actually, as a member of the spare pool, if there's any injuries or anything, I fill in for teams. So I got to throw a few rocks after the second team practice. So just to get a feel for the ice. And opening ceremonies was just before this game, so that went pretty well. Yeah, it's always good to get the tournament started on the first day. Get a lot of energy from some teams, a lot of provincial spirit.
And tell me a little bit about your past competition. As this game's going on, it's 6-0. I think this is probably the safest chance we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like you said, you got to compete in the Canada Games?
I did, yeah.
And that was this year?
That was, yeah, in February, and we lost the quarterfinal, so we finished 6th in that event, which was, it met our expectations, but we definitely would have liked a higher finish. We ended up playing the team who won it all, Manitoba, in the quarterfinal, so a bit of a rough break there, but it was a great experience and played some really great teams while out there.
And of course, you had a good travel opportunity. That was in Alberta, I believe, this year, or was
that was
Prince George,
BC.
BC,
yeah.
That's right, at BC. So it must have been cool to get out there and get to experience some new things, no doubt.
Yeah.
And most of your teammates, who of course are Prince Edward Island born and bred, they get to go out and compete competitively. Is that something that all 4 or all 5 of you have had the opportunity to do previously, or is this new to some of your guys?
No, we're the same team. We've been together for 2 years, and in that time we kind of joined as a team for the Canada Games cycle because you need to have a set team to qualify. So we came together. 4 guys from, it was 3 of us from the eastern end of the island and 1 from the central part, and we just agreed that we felt we'd have a great chance of going and representing well. So we went to the Atlantics a few months after forming as a team and did pretty well there, and we also had a bit of a quieter year last year, didn't play to our best abilities, but kind of came together again this year. We won the under-21 provincials and went to nationals and placed 9th there, and then again qualified for Canada Games and went there and had a decent showing as well.
Excellent. And now Newfoundland up once again. There is a blocker, or a guard I should say, in place right now for Nova Scotia. Are they going to go around it or remove it?
At the moment they're just drawing around Newfoundland, so that's a bit of a more sensible call given the scoreboard. They'd like to definitely score this end. Getting 2 would be a bonus considering the way the game's gone to date. So this is looking pretty good as it comes in.
This redstone just touches the house, and it will go inside right now. Pretty good throw.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
And of course, the guard perfectly covering up that redstone.
It is, yeah. There wouldn't be much of that redstone visible from the hack. So, and on the straighter ice here, you would be risking quite a bit to play a hit on that.
And what does that set up here for Nova Scotia? Are they going to attempt to remove, just set around?
I think they're going to try to come around with a somewhat light hit weight and just kind of pick that one out. That's what I think I saw Kristen Clark gesturing.
So for Emma Logan, her first shot of the third, the score 6-0 in favor of Nova Scotia. And these ends only 8, not 10 as opposed to other levels of curling. This one is going to just chip the guards. And that might be Nova Scotia's first mistake in this game.
They've been few and far between for sure. It's at least it moved the guard. Like, you'd be better off doing that than going by on the wide side for sure. But it's still a miss. They would like to get rid of that red for sure.
Now Golding back up for Newfoundland. Her first shot of the third. And for the first time, Brooks, in any point in this game, we're seeing Newfoundland with marginal control here of an end.
Yeah. If this is made well, they'll be in a pretty great position. Looks a little heavy, so it's gonna slip into the house there. Might get a little tap on their own.
And you can live with that overall. Pretty. Now you probably didn't want the tap, but overall, good looking shot.
Yeah, it leaves Nova Scotia a double, which is quite makeable, but to have 2 in the rings is nothing for them to complain about.
So for Logan, she's going to put a lot of weight on this stone.
Yeah, it'll be a fair amount of weight, just to make sure you get some action on the stones.
Yeah, very heavy throw, as you predicted. A lot of sweeping right now. They will lay off. Nova Scotia back to the sweeping. Just crosses the hog line. It's coming in right for the top red. And a hit on a beautiful shot.
Nice
and
shot.
that will remove all 3. So even when Nova Scotia makes a mistake, they capitalize on a very small error by this Newfoundland team. And they just look really strong right now. So now Golden up once again, her last shot here in the 3rd. And Brooks, after 4 ends, we will see a bit of a break between teams now.
We will, yeah. There's a 5-minute break after the 4th end. Just teams typically just talk to their coach, get any helpful advice. So that's a 3-minute break, actually.
A 3-minute break,
Yeah.
okay. So a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
Quick bathroom break if you're
just
lucky.
Yeah, so the coach will typically just bring out some snacks and chat with the team about how the game's going at that moment.
And now here is Fulmore. And Brooks, I think it would be pretty ignorant of me not to mention a burger love here, which is something that's taken over.
Yeah.
We see in this area, there's 4 of them in the Monaco, Georgetown area.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to try any yet?
I went with my team at lunch to the restaurant just down the road, Red's Corner, and we tried that PEI Burger Love for any of you non-islanders. It's a competition every April, so restaurants all across the island create kind of a custom burger, and they enter it in this competition. So these teams participating in the Atlantics are pretty lucky to have that opportunity. It may not be the best pre-game meal, but a lot of them are planning on trying some.
Well, I was going to invite you out for dinner, but we'll go tomorrow now instead.
Sounds good.
Because you can't do 2 in one day, that's for sure. And this one,
hard on the system.
Perfect remove, and Nova Scotia once again Brooks back in control here. Only 3 stones left to be thrown here in the 3rd. This probably puts the pressure on Newfoundland once again. And Brooks, at any point, could we see Newfoundland possibly say, all right, it's time to fold here?
I think.
Of course, it is early, but
at this level, you have to. I think you have to play 6 ends. But I could definitely see the way this game's going that happening. Not saying it's over yet, but I mean they could certainly step up their game and make a few great shots. But it certainly looks that way at the moment.
And why do we see teams do that? Is it just for the purpose, there's no point of playing longer, possibly injuring ourselves and burning ourselves out for a game that we cannot win? And then some, of course, mathematically you just can't win.
Typically it's a mathematical elimination. Like if you're down, let's say 3 points, and you have 2 rocks left and none in the house, you can't win. So you can't even tie. So at that point you'll see early handshakes. But when you have a team that's, let's say, I don't know, let's say the score is 9-3 or whatever, and you're playing the last end, handshakes are almost always going to, over 99% of the time, you're going to see handshakes, because the team knows that if they've only scored 3 points in the entire game, they aren't going to score 6 to tie. You know, you'll see a lot of that. It's just logical thinking by a lot of teams, and yes, it helps you not get tired down, especially in these longer tournaments.
And who is that up to, of course, to make those decisions?
It'll typically be a team decision. They'll just meet at the hog line after an end or whatnot, and it'll just be a general agreement. You might even have a coach signal to them or something, or mention it at a timeout. but typically it's just a team decision out on the ice.
Here is Clark's last throw right now of the third. Her team is up 6-0 over Newfoundland right now, this team out of Labrador City, and this throw looks like it will go just a little strong right now. It will hang around though.
Yeah.
So another good look, and that is a very tough shot to remove.
That is, they seem to be playing the hit, which I'm not sure is the right call. I mean, they can draw down to that and come right to the yellow and get shot rock. So, but they are playing a hit weight here with that ice. So, not 100% sure.
So now we see these teams discussing what can you picture Newfoundland doing. Of course, there's no perfect scenario with this one either, but
no. But I'd say just playing along a path that would take you to the button or just to the side of the button, because even if you are a touch heavy, you can come right to the back yellow and still score. Because again, at this point in the game, that is key. You just want to get on the board.
all right. So we'll see what this last shot for Kazmi will bring. Her team down 6-0. The last stone of the third, and needs to be a good one.
It does. Yeah, another excellent force by Nova Scotia. And she seems to be playing the draw here, and that's not great line at all.
And this one looks like it will finish short. And now we see even a bigger deficit build up here.
It's another 2 for Nova Scotia, so it's 8-0 after 3 ends, and definitely Nova Scotia starting to pull away in this one.
Brooks, I'm sure as any curler you would have been in this situation on both ends, up 8-0 and down 8-0.
Yeah.
It must be pretty frustrating for Newfoundland at this point.
It is. I mean, you don't like to come to an event like this and not play to your abilities, or just to be down by such a large amount, especially only after 3 ends. I mean, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails. But Nova Scotia, I'm sure they'll be pleased to get this game, especially as their first draw, get some confidence and know they can play that well. But Newfoundland will definitely be looking to rebound after this one and step it up for the remainder of the game.
And of course, looking at draw 2 here on Ice 2 tonight at 7 o'clock. So there's going to be quite the break in between games. We'll see the host versus New Brunswick. That is in the men's division. What do we know about this host team, Brooks?
The host team is Team Alex McFadgen, and I've played them many times. They were in the final series of our Canada Games trials. So we played them and trained with and against them quite a lot, and they're definitely a solid team. So the New Brunswick team is Liam Marine. They're from the St. John area, and they're another solid team. They're the defending champions from last year, so they'll be in for they'll be in the hunt in this event. So that should be a very good game, I'd say.
And once again, we see another blank here. Probably just discouragement right now for Newfoundland.
Yeah, I'd say there's some frustration there for sure.
And we're so early in this game, still only just the beginning of the fourth. Is there anything you can do to motivate yourself besides have a good end?
Not really. I mean, you just want to get back in the groove. I mean, you can't really change the ends that have passed, but you just want to try to forget about them as much as possible. I mean, you want it one shot at a time.
Now this stone, this travels across the hog line.
So they're,
and once again, we're just seeing
playing a freeze on this one, which is a bit of a different call, but given the score, I'm fine with it. Like, I would be fine with playing that. They've left a double, but again, nothing wrong with that.
And to do the double successfully, how do you go about that? We see them basically touching just outside of the button.
Yeah, the fact that there's a bit of a overlap on those means that you can hit the top one on the nose or anywhere to the left side that you'd see on your screen, and that would, with enough weight, eliminate both of them. Which they're not going to do. They're going to hit the top and roll over the top and out the side.
So once again, a little bit of a mishap for Newfoundland. And now this stone will get taken out of play by the Labrador City team. And now for Nova Scotia, they're going to try to set up basically the same thing, perhaps?
They'll be playing the same shot. Just, again, more rocks in play.
Brooks, when did you begin curling? You must have started at a young age, like most.
I started, I'm trying to think, I would have been 10 years old. So
10,
this
okay.
is my seventh full year playing.
So you're 17.
I'm 18, but
You're
I
18.
started, I guess, in the spring, so I just had a half year to start off.
A Montague Regional High graduate, perhaps?
Not a graduate, but I'm in my senior year.
Senior year. Excellent.
Getting down to the final months of that.
You're so close to the finish.
Yeah.
Of course, the snow hasn't really made it feel like it. We have, or are, of course, in spring, April has began to blossom, I suppose, but still,
Yeah, there's
as
still
you
quite
make
a
the
bit of
trip
snow.
east on Prince Edward Island, the snow just seems to build up as another blank is thrown by Newfoundland right now, but the snow just seems to get worse and worse the farther east you
It
go.
does, yeah. It's we've had quite the drifts. Appearing like there's some 16-footers, and it's just crazy.
A lot of snow days.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you had a chance to get out to the curling rinks during those snow days?
No, it's most of the time when it's a snow day, I'm pretty well stranded at home.
I can
so,
imagine.
Yeah.
Of course, during the Atlantics, or pardon me, during the university finals a few months ago, the Bell crew got stuck here. We were
Yes.
just at a hotel
Yes, I
down the
heard
road.
that.
Yeah, we it was tough. We had to hike our way to Tim Hortons. we got to the local Tim Hortons, and they were out of hot food, so it was sandwiches and muffins for several days.
Yeah, it was. I encountered a few people that had either been playing or watching that, and they some people couldn't even leave the curling rink at times. So
It was bad.
yeah.
Let's just say I packed a shovel and a pair of Skidoo boots this year, or pardon me, this tournament, so I'm not going to get stuck this time. I've told myself I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to make it. And I don't have a hotel this time, so it really has to work out. And now this stone, once again, just
Yeah.
off the mark.
Yeah.
What is going on right now, Brooks?
Well, that's again just a bad release on that one. Like not pointing straight at the broom when she let go. So it's when you let go, it's already moving away from the target, and it's no sweeper in the world can hold a rock that's already going on a different path. So just if I was a player having that issue, just you have to really focus on just a basic release, getting back to the basic principles.
And now for Nova Scotia, we will see Emma Logan with her first release. Once again, Nova Scotia in full control of this game. They are up 8-0. Brett Poirier, Brooks Roach live on the call from the Montague Curling Club in Prince Edward Island. It is a rainy Friday afternoon here, and we are live on Bell Community 1, so make sure you check us out. We will have lots of games coming your way from the 2015 Atlantic Under-18 Curling Championships, and at 7 o'clock we see the host versus New Brunswick, and here we will have Prince Edward Island versus New Brunswick women's at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So another early start. And Brooks, you have to be at all of them, don't you, since you're the
I do,
replacement?
yeah, I'm on call pretty well.
The on-call curler. How often does someone in your position actually get on the ice? I mean, it's probably rare, but it happens, I'm sure.
Well, since Canada Games, I've been taking it fairly easy because our season's pretty well done after we got back from British Columbia.
Okay.
But I've been coming twice a week typically since then. Before that, it would have been I'd say 5 times a week for sure, 5 or 6, just nailing down the technique. But after that, it's more of a relaxed, just coming to throw rocks.
And I always like to compliment the staff, Larry, of course, at the curling club, and
for sure.
this beautiful facility. It's one of the
It's
best
great.
in the island.
Yeah, it's I was out throwing rocks earlier with my teammate Ryan Lowry, and we were saying to each other how it's just a great speed. Like it's nothing to complain about here.
Nice shot. Good job, Emma.
And another beautiful shot at that time by Logan. that sets up a very tough shot for Newfoundland. Looks like they're going to go for the one inside of the house.
They are, yeah. They're seem to be, with that ice, just playing more of a lightweight tap. So I'm good with that call, because just moving the yellow out of that area, you leave your own there, but you might have a jam opportunity if it's made well. Seems to have a lot of line here, though. Needs to curl.
This one traveling with pretty nice speed across the hog line. It will just about enter the house right now, and it's pretty well lined up. It curls a little away at the very end, but not exactly what they wanted. Couldn't quite knock that yellow out.
No, it's they are shot rock, which is a good result from that, but they do leave Nova Scotia a completely wide open hit.
And if we know anything about Nova Scotia, they don't miss these opportunities.
No.
So now for Clark, this is a pretty easy, straightforward shot. She will clearly go for that shot rock, like you said, that red stone belonging to Newfoundland. Here in the fourth, the score 8-0 in favor of Nova Scotia. They, once again, are in control here of the fourth. We will have a 3-minute break, Brooks tells me, here after the fourth. Not that 5-minute break that we're accustomed to in those 10-end games.
It's been shaved.
They shaved the break. 5 minutes didn't seem long enough in the first place, and now they've cut that back.
Today's economy, I guess.
We're running out of time. Now this shot looks to be perfectly in line for Nova Scotia. And the perfect shot.
Yeah, very good.
Now what does this set Newfoundland up with?
Well, Brad, looking at that, there's all Nova Scotia stones in play, so what they're going to try to do is obviously get rid of the yellow shot that's just on the side of the button there, but they're looking to roll underneath, so in behind the high yellow guard on the right side. But again, even if they just stick around somewhere, I'm sure they'll be fine with that, because it is a very dominant end by Nova Scotia once again.
All right, now for Newfoundland with their second last shot here of the end, we see Kaylee Casme up for her team out of Labrador City. And this one coming in very strong here. And they need to connect here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why they'd be sweeping that.
Looks a little bit wide, but it will just barely connect.
Split the Nova Scotia rock out, but I'm not really sure why they would have been sweeping that one. Bit of an error there.
Just sweep everything. Probably the best technique. Sweep it all.
Yeah, keep everything clean.
Keep everything clean, you're right. This is already the fourth end. We'll have some sweeping on the ice service just after this end, so, help them out.
Yeah.
We complimented the ice staff. We see right now Larry out there doing some work, and as the manager here of the club, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty for sure.
Well, Larry and Bruce are always, they're making great ice conditions here. Some of the best you can play on in the Atlantic provinces, I'd say, for sure.
It must always be nice for you to get to curl competitively in this rink.
It is, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely a home ice advantage.
Yeah. Well, it's just good to practice on conditions that are close to some of the high-quality conditions that you'll aim for with national and regional competitions.
What are some other, I'm going to say, high-level clubs on the island that you've had a chance to curl in?
Well, I typically play and practice in the Charlottetown Curling Complex, and it's been good this year. Larry and Bruce also go in there and help out with the ice, so it's definitely improved, and it has good ice conditions as well. The Silver Fox in Summerside is also a good one.
The hometown rink.
Yes.
I've spent many times there. I used to be I don't know, you probably wouldn't have soon, but I used to be a little curler myself back when I was 4 or 5 and 6.
Well, that must be where your knowledge comes.
Oh yeah, that's where it roots from.
Still got some strategy.
From that and from my Ron Casey experience a few months ago here in Montague for sure. But I believe they called me a little tyke. It was called on the ice. Sounds weird, but yeah, that's what we did, and I did some curling. That was in the days, Brooke, where we had to wear helmets on the ice. I don't know if that's still a thing with junior curlers.
Oh, that's still going strong here. We have our junior program ended last night, and a lot of young folk with helmets and knee pads and everything on. So
No doubt you like to get involved, help out with that whenever
Yeah.
you can.
yeah, whenever possible. I've with a lot of travel this year, it's been difficult, but whenever possible, it's because Ryan, my lead, Ryan Lowry, and I, we both live and go to school here in Montague, so it's easy to get down to the curling club after school and help out with that and practice ourselves.
So Brooks, what is happening here? They really needed the shot.
This-
They're not going to get it.
This is no, they might even tap Nova Scotia in.
So that will set up a 10-0 lead right now
That
after
is.
4. We will be back here on Bell Community 1 in a moment. Alright, we're back after a few technical glitches, and we are ready to go. Brooks, not the best curling game in terms of score, but definitely a lot to keep your eyes on, especially how Newfoundland can bounce back, if they can at all, from this 10-0 deficit.
If they can, yeah. They'd like to get a few points here, just maybe get a few shots, work out some problems that they seem to be having. There's definitely a few if the score is 10-0. But it's good to watch Nova Scotia, a team that's definitely keeping their game at a good level, even with a good lead. You know, they're not slacking off at all.
Now we see Nova Scotia up with the Yellowstones. They are up 10-0 here. You are watching the 2015 Atlantic Under-18 Curling Championships here on Bell Alliant Community One, the leader in local sports webcasting and entertainment. This shot will go right inside, knock out that redstone perfectly, and a nice little freeze applied there. Once again, Brooks, we just don't see this Nova Scotia team appear to make many mistakes.
No,
if they do it all, they fix
quite
them.
Steady, yeah. Even if they do have a miss, as you said earlier, they'll quickly bounce back and make a good shot after to make up for it.
And I know we were talking about favorites early on in this game. You would have to think a team like Nova Scotia would have to be a favorite, just considering how dominant they look.
Based on this, I'd say they'll definitely be a contender. And this is, again, not looking great for Newfoundland.
This one will not strike either. I think that will be one area that they'll just have to improve. The releases, like you said, all look good, and then they just curve at the very end. Is there a reason for that?
Well, it's, again, just kind of... That would actually be attributed to a soft handle, so just not putting enough spin on the rock, which it allows it to... doesn't get enough friction, so it'll catch paths, and it will curl more. To put it quite simply, it'll just curl more, even with hit weight. Which, even though they are throwing some soft weight, you'll definitely see curl.
We're live here in the fifth end. The score 10-0 in favor of Nova Scotia right now. They have control once again. They're going for their second stone in the house. This one about to be swept. Looks kind of strong.
It looks a little bit. They're going for a little tap on their own, which isn't bad at all. Splits the house, makes it wide open.
They seem to really just hit every shot they go for.
Yeah.
They have just been incredible here in the first game of the day. And folks, make sure you're back with us at 7 o'clock Atlantic time for the host versus New Brunswick. That is in men's play. And Brooks, I'm just going to commit right now and say that you'll be with me for the 7 o'clock game.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
And nothing like some good men's curling on a Friday night from Montague, where, of course, depending on the teams, you can see a lot of hard banging shots.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we, like I said,
for sure, we
heard not too long ago, and you could actually hear some of these shots come right through the glass.
Yeah.
They really hit hard.
And that's another miss by Newfoundland there, just on the wide side. Which the problem with that is they're not really missing in a consistent way. It's just a lot of misses. So it's hard to fix something like that.
And now on some other ices, we see this Prince Edward Island team going against, I'm not even familiar with, what do we have over here? This would be two PEI teams, isn't it?
Both PEI teams, so it's PEI versus the host. And PEI is up 3-1 at the moment. Over on ice 3, we have Newfoundland, Nova Scotia men. And Nova Scotia is up 4-1 after 4. And then over on ice 4, we have the other men's PEI versus host, and PEI is up 8-0 in that one.
So I guess 2 blowouts in the makings and 2 pretty competitive games.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
folks, for this one game, we would not be offended if you switched over to the men's Nova Scotia Newfoundland game.
There's been some great shots as I've been taking a few looks over and some high quality playing over there.
Now Nova Scotia back up with it. They will put it right inside of the button once again. Just a remarkable shot.
Yeah, great shot.
And it does set up a bit of a double, but
It does, but it's tough. You'd have to hit it right in the pocket there. So fairly exact. Although they are close, it's a hard double.
and now we see the skip. Here comes Kaylee Casme for Newfoundland. Her first shot of the 5th. And Brooks, we did talk about this earlier, the possibility of forfeiting after 6.
Yeah,
It is technically possible. In the way this game is going, and if it continues to go this way, could you see that being a legitimate possibility?
For sure. It's I mean, it doesn't look like they'll be scoring any here. Well, I mean, they'll be 1 is a possibility, but 2 is quite unlikely, based especially the fact that this is a hit here. And
there's a pretty good look.
Nice shot.
They got a double there, so
It's
that
a very
definitely
nice
changes
shot.
things.
Yeah, they got a really a convenient roll there because it's hard to hit the Newfoundland shot rock out without. I mean, there is a jam opportunity on your own, so that's a good shot by Newfoundland there.
That might have been the best shot so far of the game for Newfoundland.
I would say so.
And now Nova Scotia back up. This will be their last shot, and it will be taken by their skip, Kristen Clark. Something that I always like to get explained. We see some of the sweepers with timers. Can you explain what that does?
Yeah, basically you'll have a team that can time the rock from the point when it crosses the either back line or tee line to when it crosses the hog line. And what that does is it lets them know, because they'll be timing every rock, they'll know the speed that they should be aiming for all the different weights. So when they see it right off the bat, they'll be able to have a pretty good idea of where the rock will end up.
So definitely some mathematics involved in
Yeah,
this game too.
it can be a lot of tough calculating.
You know, they do call this chess on ice.
It is.
I call it pool on ice because I see the pool element. If you're good, you can hit several stones at once, but you have to be good, you have to be calculated. But
Yeah.
as you know, you don't just get on the ice and throw rocks. That's for
Not
sure.
at all. No. Everything you do should have a purpose. If it doesn't, you're making some mistakes.
Now the last shot here in the 5th, Newfoundland is up with it right now. And this could be the first end that they could actually come away with something right now.
Yeah, they have a pretty straightforward draw. They need to touch the 8-foot here to get their single point. So that would just be more of a relief for them, I'd say, to get on the board. And this is sweepers need to go on that one. That comes up late as well.
And that will not do the trick.
No.
So once again, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia steals another, so that's 11-0.
11-0 right now. And Brooks, this game just keeps getting worse and worse.
It is.
The Newfoundland team. This could possibly be the last end we're about to witness in this game.
Yeah, this if there's no handshakes after this one, I'll be shocked, because something incredible would have had to happen. I mean, to get 11 points in 3 ends is not something that I'd predict for Newfoundland, considering they haven't scored 1 yet.
And what do these curlers do in the meantime now? From game to game, they're here for 3 days. Is there a way to keep mentally prepared and physically prepared for these games?
Typically, in between games, you'll just be having meal time. the main priority to keep your nutrients and everything up, keep in good shape. But typically you'll have people going back to their hotel, maybe going to see some sights if they have a longer break. Every team has one bye throughout the weekend, so they'll typically spend that, doing whatever with their yeah, out for a tour around the White Plains of Eastern PEI.
Yeah, there's plenty of those to see, and no doubt they got to all see them on their drives here.
Yes, I heard. I was talking to quite a few of the players, and they can't believe the amount of snow we have, even if they do live, fairly close to here. The two of the men's teams are from Summerside and West Prince area, so and they're both in disbelief. Just the fact that as you go east, as you said, the snow just keeps building.
It's almost like you're traveling through a tunnel just on these highways, because you can't see the saw. All you can see is snow on each side of you. It's honestly very it's pretty intimidating to drive around.
It is, yeah. A lot of roads still only have, you can say 2 lanes, but it's more like 1.5 at best. A lot of snow cutting into the road. But it's good that all the teams did get here safe and sound. So,
of course, the Newfoundland team at the university level tournament couldn't make it here.
Yeah, they were stranded.
And that was too bad, because they had to forfeit their opportunity, and they were a pretty competitive team from what I understood. They had a very good shot.
I heard that as well.
And now the second shot for Newfoundland will be taken by Kelsey Fry, who plays third but shoots first. What is the point of switching up the shooting order there? Is some players just have better preference shooting?
That could just be the player's abilities, or if you have someone playing at third, you have to sweep less than if you're playing lead. So if you had one person that was really just not as strong of a sweeper, that could be a possibility. I'd say it's just more of a shooting preference, the type of shots, because a lead will typically be playing draws and guards and the simpler setup shots.
Now for Nova Scotia, here is Taylor Fulmore. The house is left empty right now. So does that set up a better chance to go inside or a guard? And of course it is team preference.
It's in this case they're absolutely fine with going in. Anywhere in the house is not really a big deal. The fact that there's no guards means that even if Newfoundland does try to play a freeze, to try to get one of their rocks in play and keep some sort of protection, there's not much to shoot for with no guards. So again, they are still playing a hit on this. Just trying to keep things clean, I'm guessing.
And this shot comes in very heavy. And they'll get a bit of a hit and roll action that time.
They're going to
roll out of play.
Roll out.
For Newfoundland. They wanted to stay, though.
Yeah, for sure. Even anywhere in the rings would be acceptable on that one. So that's a bit of a miss. But again, with the score the way it is, it's not a crucial one.
The score after
they'd love to have it, though.
11-0 in favor of Nova Scotia. As Brooks predicted, handshakes will ensue after this if things go this way. And of course we have 3 other sheets of curling action right now. It must make for a pretty loud ice service out there. It's probably
can,
to hear your teammates.
Yeah, there's especially at this level of competition, people can get fairly loud and intense with their comments. So, but it's important to just
All right, we're back here. Another little technical difficulty. The cord was just thrown out of our wiring unit here, but we're good to go. And for Newfoundland, a team who is down right now 11-0. They only have a few stones left, and they have to remove this yellow stone, Brooks.
Yeah, they with that ice, they're playing a draw down in front of the yellow, just hoping for a miss out of Nova Scotia after that. So if this is made, it could be an opportunity to maybe get two if they make the rest of their shots, but even then, it's a long way up to the 11 mark on the scoreboard. And
at what point would it technically become impossible? It would be in, I suppose, the 7th end.
Well, in the 7th, if you're down more than 8,
that's where it becomes impossible.
It's literally impossible. Not that you would ever score an 8-ender. I mean,
that would be
in the final end.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
You'd have to get some.
You'd need some very questionable misses by the other team to do that.
We've seen some tough misses by Newfoundland, but as we know, Nova Scotia's probably not going to miss 8.
I wouldn't say so, no.
I mean, even myself, who hasn't curled in about a decade, I'm sure I could probably hit 1 out of 8.
You could get the 13% accuracy rate or whatever that would be as a team.
That's some pretty nice mental math there. 13%, yeah, that's spot on, actually. Now Nova Scotia up once again. Their second last shot here in the 6th. They're up by 11. And we should preview the next game just in case this is the end here. We have the host versus New Brunswick. We spoke about the host briefly, New Brunswick. What do we know about them, Brooks?
New Brunswick is a solid team. They have the bye at the moment, so they'll be coming into that game fresh. But they're a team from Summerside, PEI. They're just they were right up in the running with us for the Canada Games spot, so they're definitely a quality team, and they can, if they bring their A game, they'll give New Brunswick a run for their money. New Brunswick, sorry, I got off track there talking about the host. New Brunswick has the time off, actually, so they will be. New Brunswick should be fairly tough. Again, coming into it having won last year, they've been curling quite a bit. Like, we see them at a lot of tournaments, so they go on tour, as they say. So they'll have a lot of rocks thrown this season, and they'll be, I'm sure, ready for this, ready to get started with their first game.
Here comes the Newfoundland stone. They have a yellow one belonging to Nova Scotia to remove right now, just outside of the button inside of the house. And it will miss altogether once again.
So at best, Newfoundland is looking to score 1 here. So I'm not really sure. Again, I don't see a 7th end coming. So now Clark will go for possibly the final shot for her team in this game. And if this is the end of the game, you have to think it's a pretty impressive, pretty motivating win for Nova Scotia. Yeah, definitely. They'd be, and even to get off the ice a little early, get a bit more rest time. They'll be pleased to do that. They'll have a lot of positives to take from this game.
Now here comes Clark's shot. With 1 stone already in play, and this is the last shot for her team, she just wants to set it right in front of what she already has.
Yeah, just make a bit of an angle so that Newfoundland can't play the double on theirs, and make the draw, the scoring area, very hard to make the draw.
That's just about the shot they
she's
were
done.
looking for.
Yeah, it's a good shot. There is a nose double, which it looks like they'll play, but even if that's made, again, it's only for 1 for Newfoundland and Labrador.
I think one thing, Brooks, that a lot of fans who don't actually follow curling heavily don't understand. There's no officials on the ice. No one moderates these games except for the 8 players who are out here.
Yeah,
so a lot is up to them.
It is. You have some teams, not a lot, but they tend to be a bit on the angrier side, and they'll have some comments. But in general, the it's a fairly classy sport. I mean, you don't have the need for officials, referees, I guess, moderating all that stuff. So, yeah, but it is interesting that isn't a part of the sport. So, just shows the features of the athletes, I suppose.
Here comes the final shot here in the 6th. This time it's released by Newfoundland's Kaylee Kazmi.
Yeah, I know.
She is trying to line up that double. Almost impossible. This travels down the center line just inside of the house. There is a hit. One quick release. And that is not going to get done what they wanted to do.
That's
and
not it.
there
And
you had
there
it.
you go.
The hands are being shook. That is over. The final score 12-0. And our first game of the day has come to an end. And it has been won by this Nova Scotia team of the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax. We will be back at 7 o'clock Atlantic time for the host versus New Brunswick. That is all for us on Bell Line Community 1 for Brooks Rose, Brett Poirier. We are signing off now. We will be back here at 7.